delivered straight to your doorstep. Immerse yourself in a community of curious teachers and seekers dedicated to the collective growth and understanding. Each glossy edition is a portal to expand awareness, featuring the latest in metaphysical and holistic products, services, events, and books. Let our engaging articles and comprehensive practitioner directory guide you on your journey towards higher consciousness. With every issue, raise your vibration and deepen your connection to the universe, one enlightening read at a time. Subscribe today at edgemagazine.net/subscribe and embark on a transformative exploration here, there, and everywhere. Hello, everybody. Kim, I just always love when you're on because you just start smiling and giggling, and it's just
It's so
always
fun.
It is so much fun. We have a really, really good time together, and we're having oh, and we have Instagram playing not fair in the sandbox with us today. So, what do you do? Okay. Hey, Kim,
It's
how are
always
you?
well. I am doing so great. Here we are at the end of July. We
I
are
know,
at
but we're knocking on the door to August. Before we jump
yeah.
into, we're going to have this really beautiful discussion because you and I, as thought leaders in our community and within our communities, people reach out to us with questions all the time. And one of them is, how did you find yourself here? What was your journey? And that's what we're really going to tap into today. But you have something spectacular going on in August for Lionsgate. Let's just give a little, yeah, I know, little bit of insight on, as we're knocking on the door of August 1st. Any insight you want to share with the audience?
Yes. Okay. So August is complicated. We've been talking about this all year. Last year to my people, I had said everybody, you know what, August, as we get towards the middle, that teen and that 20s week of August, super complicated. But I will tell you next week, that first week of August, we have the new moon on the 4th, we have Mercury retrograde on the 5th Eastern time, and we have Lionsgate on the 8th. It's a luscious week. It is filled with power and magnetism, and your soul is literally shouting from the rooftops for you to pay attention. And when you do, you can really open up your connection.
I do love how a lot of people that are dialed into the stars, well, not like you because you are your own beautiful unicorn, are really, I don't want to say the doom and gloom of August, but that frequency. And you're like, bitch, please. This is a time for opportunity. Let's not go over there and go out like this, and this. Like, the collective right now is just so
Heavy.
heavy. Beautiful word, heavy. And it's like, but it's opportunity.
Well,
It's
the stars are always conspiring for us to be able to find our true selves, right? So that's what it's really all about. And that is no easy thing. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes, about how tension filled and how nerve wracking and how you can shake in your boots when your soul comes knocking and says, we're ready. We're ready for you to begin, right? And we're seeing this impulse and frequency and like rhythm of more and more and more, faster, faster, faster. And it's becoming almost impossible to ignore your soul right now.
yeah.
So for those who want to, there's way more escapism, there's way more victimization, there's way more henny penny the sky's falling in, because if we can feel like, well, I don't want to do that, that's not for me, like, and we can push it away, and we're in, I don't even want to say denial because it's more active than that,
Right.
then we don't have to look at ourselves. That's what this is all about. Like, you looking in the mirror, like, oh, hello, right? And when you do that, sometimes it's not so awesome sauce. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's kind of janky about myself. And it just is, right? So once you accept it, like all of yourself, then you can stand and you can say, oh, yes, the stars are going to be super wrangling that 20th week of August. Okay, what do we want to do with that? What's next? You and I are going live 3 times, because when we talked about this, we said we are going to step into the awesomeness of this.
What's interesting is you just showed me, was it Snow White, but the evil witch had that mirror, the mirror on the wall, and it spoke honesty, right? And
Right.
that's just what showed up, but it was a little version of it that you like held up. It was a beautiful mirror, but it's just, it is time to look. It is time to, but then also with that opportunity, the 3rd week of August, I think is really, um, be kind to yourself. Have it
Right.
circled on your calendar. Look for opportunities. If something is about to kinda go south or you're about to go down a rabbit hole you don't need to, just go, "Oh."
I lost all sound. Do you have sound again? I can't hear you. Mercury's going retrograde. Did we mention that? Did we mention Mercury's going retrograde? I'm just going to talk, Kelly, while you figure out your mic. So we were talking about, yes, we're talking about this massive import that we've come to, right? And we want to talk about remembering, taking a step back and saying, when we were first on this journey, and having people share when you were first on this journey, what did it look like, right? So people that are super connected, we're not better than anybody else. We just happen to be in a different phase of our path, right? So we want to help people along that journey. Can't hear you. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to carry it. Okay, I'm just going to talk for a few minutes. So when, for me personally, because Kelly had asked me, she said, let's remind people that, here we can talk about Lionsgate and that we're doing this, massive activation and walking through the portal. And we can talk about, being the trusted authority for the new era and being the leader of the Edge network. And, and people can look at that and say, well, you've been always connected, or it was so easy for you, or, oh, you're just, I can't do that. That doesn't seem possible to me to be able to channel or to be able to like understand the unknown and the unseen. And I'm here to tell you, hells to the no. Everybody's intuitive. Everybody has access. Everybody has a spiritual journey that they're going on. It's just, how do we want to navigate that? And the beautiful thing about this is that we can know with certainty that there are waves of people coming more connected. So think about like massage or yoga 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Super edgy. No one wanted to do it. It was like kind of like for the fringes or whatever. Now it's like, you have everybody talking about that. Well, this is where when we start talking about astrology or the new wave or the new age or the new era or the energetic connection or the intuitive channeling or mental telepathy, we're going to be all there within a few years. We're all going to be there. And that is super exciting. So what are we here to do? We're here to help you show you what it looks like. And so a lot of people will ask me, like, so you're connected all the time, you're channeling all the time, was it easy for you? Absolutely not. I was really bad at meditation. I was like super bad. So that has given me the gift of being able to help people come to their own intuition in different ways. I have my whole methodology. Now I'm not shown on the picture. Here I go. Okay. So I have my whole methodology of, do you know, like, and trust yourself? And the reason why I have that is because people want to take more action. If you take visionary leaders or high performing entrepreneurs or very active people in their worlds, and you say, go ahead, go sit in a mountaintop and do that for years, and then you'll come to be into your intuitive connection, that is not going to be super helpful, right? That it's not exactly like, oh sure, it's Wednesday and I've got to drive the kids to school and I've got 4 meetings and then I've got lunch over here and then I have an appointment and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to pick up the kids and I've got dinner and everything. Oh sure, I'm just going to sit on a mountaintop and I'm going to go meditate. It doesn't really work that way. So I love things that you can fit in your back pocket. So I'm always about, like, how do you know yourself more? How can we give your mind a job that it can ponder, wonder, observe, imagine? Those are a little bit more active than that receiving of being able to quiet your mind and be able to then, hear messages or get impressions or be able to like unlock epiphanies or creative, solutions to problems. That's a really beautiful stepping stone. The other one is some people like really enter their life through the heart. So they're more into connection and who you know. And so there's a beautiful way to open yourself up vibrationally, whether it's through magical tools or like crystals or tuning forks or even massage, something like that. Yoga is really good to be able to get into your body, to get into your own energy, and then to be able to relate to others in their energy. Then that trusting piece is about that creative side. That is like really activating your will to then take action. So, Kelly and I wanted to be here. We're having technical difficulties. So I am on her platform talking. I'm Kim Woods. I am the trusted authority for the New Edge magazine. So for the new era. And so they've asked me to be more I don't even know if the right word is like invitational for people, right? Because here we are at a certain point, but how did we get there? What is the journey? I will tell you, the journey is going to be rocky. The journey is going to be like all these questions are going to come up. You're going to be doubting yourself. You're going to be looking at things that you might not want to see. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be, pursuing and saying yes. So you're super excited sometimes because, oh, I'm going to a workshop that we're going to be doing Lionsgate, or I'm going to be going to this meditative, exploration and doing like get messages by someone reading my palm, or I'm going to go to the Art on the Edge, which is coming up, that the Edge magazine is sponsoring, and that's going to be a beautiful, gorgeous walk through. Probably get some readings, meet some really spiritual people, be able to buy some fun products that are in that magical realm, and that feels really good. That feels really wonderful. To be able to say yes to. It's exciting. It's new. It opens up your mind to be able to discover all these things. And that feels delicious. And then there are those moments where you're like, yes, but then what? It's overwhelming. It's really confusing. Which way do you go? I mean, I just was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, I probably have a folder this thick of all the certifications that I have. Reiki, magnified healing. I probably have things that don't even, aren't even in the realm anymore, and Akashic records, and obviously astrology, because that's my jam. And so why are we doing that? We're doing that because there's a whole different element to life. There's the unseen, the unheard, the unknown element. And so in order to be able to tap into it, we look for instruction. We look for like-minded people. We look for places we can go where people are, some people are like right where we are, and that feels really comforting. Some people are like, we can help mentor, right? Because maybe we've done a few more things than they have, or different things. And then there was people that were like, ooh, damn, that's where I want to go. I don't know what it means for me. So there's two separate things. That's where I want to go, but I don't know where it means for me. This is why Kelly has come up with the Edge Network, because it's a beautiful ecosystem, no matter where you are in your process in that intuitive journey. It's open up your curiosity for it. Be excited about it. Ooh, really work with some people and be able to go to those mentors and those guides and those instructors and be able to learn some more, and then find your own place in it, your own voice in it, your own magical gifts. Because here's what I know for sure. I know for sure that everybody's intuitive. I know for sure that everybody has their own unique blend of being able to be intuitive, magical, and healing. And every single one of us has a unique soul mission. And so when you are then guided for, oh, wait, not only am I gathering everything about intuition and gathering everything about how to be more magical in the practical world that we're living, but the question then becomes, is it something that I'm going to be doing with other people, or is it something that I'm doing just with myself? And both of those things are beautiful, because not everybody is meant to then become a spiritual leader or a spiritual guide or a spiritual instructor. But for those of us who are, that's where we're going to then come out and be able to be like, oh, now we've got to show the world that here we are. Oh, yay. I can say like, oh, I adored that part. I say massively sarcastically, because I wasn't ready to come out of the spiritual closet. I thought I was at each little realm. We're going to talk about this more next time, but I was hiding a lot. But before you even get to that point, Know that creativity is chaotic. Know that intuition isn't a straight line. Know that creating your life the way you want to is a circle. It's a spiral. It is not linear. I'm a strategist, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go from business strategy in the traditional realm, and I'm going to take some steps, and I'm going to just start to just walk a little bit, and I'm going to then be beautifully in the right spot, and it's just going to go just like that. Lies. That was an absolute sheer utter lie. Because what happened? Yeah, I just did that online. So had no idea what I was doing, had no idea how to do it, had some glimmers of, a psychic telling me that I'm a liberator. That was back in like 2006 or 7. Here I am, I have a traditional business strategy firm, and we're doing great. We're finally gaining some success in it. And I've been getting pressed. My soul is like, this isn't enough. You're here to do more. I don't know what that means. I had this very much, personal situation going on that I needed to explore lots of things from an Eastern perspective. So that's when I was taking all these courses, getting all these certifications, but it was very much over here. So my life was here, and my intuitive pursuit was over here. I meet a lot of people like that. I'm sure Kelly knows tons of people like that. And when that happens, what we're looking for is, how do you then tuck that in? Again, you might not have to come out into the world with this, but for you personally, you want to tuck that in. Does Kelly have a mic? Nope, Kelly does not have a mic. Here I am again. Okay. So if you are, looking for ways in which you can participate more, not just in the yoga studio, or when you're out for a walk, or when you're working out, or when you're really intentionally meditating, those are beautiful pockets that you have in your life. We all start there. But how do you then start to like bring them in more? How do you then start to like walk in that way? First thing is recognize that you want to do that, right? Recognize that it can be in your personal life. So for me, it was very separate. And then my personal life, I was cinching it together. And then I wanted to cinch it together in my professional life. So when I started cinching it together in my personal life, our kids were small, and so we started meditating together. We had crystals everywhere because the kids love rocks. We did tuning forks. We had colored ones so that the kids would get really excited about it. We started putting like bowls of crystals, and started putting, like, we had wealth faces and meditative like open bowls, and we started putting intentions in them, and we started celebrating certain seasons, right? Like the solstice, probably not the equinox. I don't think we really did that, but each season I started to celebrate that with special books and special readings, and getting into like poetry and beautiful, gorgeous books from Barefoot Books. And you think about it, you think, well, that doesn't sound very intuitive. She's talking about maybe some holiday celebrations, some things around seasons. No, but you're getting into the natural rhythm of life. So I would mark the season, then I would mark the holiday within the season. An example would be winter. I'd mark winter, and then we'd celebrate. We happen to celebrate Christmas, and then we'd celebrate the New Year. But then I'd celebrate spring, and then we'd celebrate Easter. So I was really opening up myself and opening up the family to be more in that natural rhythm. We started talking to the trees. We started building fairy houses. We started, really noticing what the animals, and we were animal whispering. We started to get oracle cards, and we were pulling those. So these are ways that you can get your family involved at home. And depending on whether you have children or grandchildren, or whether you just want it to be yourself, when you start to really recognize that, ooh, when I make my list in the, at the top of the week or the month, I'm going to put a few things that are really celebratory and ritualistic there. When I'm writing up, like kind of journaling, I'm going to really then start to like open that book, see what word comes out, and I'm going to ponder it. When I made this oracle deck, I did it for such that I wanted people to be able to, just use it really quickly and stick it in the back pocket. So you can stick an oracle deck on your desk or something, and you can just like close your eyes, take a deep breath, open it up. I love this. And you pick a card, and this one happens to be the Envision card. And you can say, a lot of people will be like, yeah, okay, now I'm done. No, let's like kind of ponder that a little bit more. It says, see your future clearly, see it, be it, do it. Ooh, and then take that envision word and just through the course of the day, just say envision. Okay, I know what that means, right? I'm gonna picture something. I'm gonna be intentional about it. I read somewhere that it's going to be the new moon this weekend. What is that all about? Maybe I'll just look online. Oh, I can set some intentions during that. So, I'm going to clear some 10 minutes on my calendar on Sunday. That happens to be true for it right now. And I'm going to think about envisioning what I want. And if I set an intention, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put it on my computer, and I'm going to then, kind of put my energy into that. It's as simple as that to start. And then when you get on the path even more, all you're doing is just like being a like stepping stone. Um, and it's how you can like really open up to the things that you can't see. Because that's all intuition is. Like intuition is taking that leap of faith that something that doesn't have evidence is true. And so you're going to be opening up to that. You're going to be using tools to do that. You're going to be hanging out with like-minded people. You're going to be drawn to things that you might not be drawn to. Now, I know for a lot of people that have come to me, a lot of people come to me and they say, I don't see anything. I don't think I'm intuitive. I don't do things the way other people do them. And I say, yes, because you're not clairvoyant. Not very few people are, but not a lot of people are. And so we have this expectation, just like we have the expectation about meditating. Like meditating, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to sit in lotus position and I'm going to just clear my mind and all these things are going to come to me. Nice. That's another lie. No, meditating. It took me a decade, literally a decade. I was the one that was like, so you can listen to music, you can listen to drumming, you can use the oracle cards or a pendulum, or you can read a book, or you can journal. There's a very active way to get into that mode, because if you are clear audio or clairvoyant, clear cognizant, your mind is racing. And so you're not getting captured by a beautiful vision. You're not, like sensing something. You're just in this muck that you're like, am I in my mind or not? So understanding and appreciating that you might be a little bit different. There might be a little bit of a different process for you. Or you might not be a person who loves the routine of, I'm going to meditate 20 minutes every single day. No, you can do that for a period of time. But if you're not one of those people that loves to sit in silence, if you're not one of those people that has copious amounts of time in your day, you're most likely not going to have that opportunity. So what does work for you? Maybe it is artistically, like kind of doodling. Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's working out like a fiend. Maybe it is listening to beautiful music. Maybe it's guided meditation. Maybe it is letting a book fall open and just gazing at it softly. Maybe it's doing yoga. Maybe it's dancing. Like we have so many different ways that we can access ourselves. That's the first step. And then once we do, though, we want to recognize that it's not going to be very comfortable. Things are going to come in. We're going to remember some things. We're going to notice some things. We talked about the mirror, when you're taking that looking glass. And the beautiful thing is just say yes. Okay, what if this is true? All right. Then you can kind of say, like, so what if this is true? Right? You can just have this really beautiful acceptance and this compassion that Kelly started talking about, that, just really be kind to yourself and just let yourself be a beginner. Let yourself start where you are. And then when you do, you will find like there's the next step. Okay, then what does that look like? Then it's the next step. Okay, what does that look like? And be able to say yes to yourself for those people that you're drawn towards. For me, I loved the stars. That may not be your thing. You may love crystals. You may love storytelling. You may love artistic creativity. You may love that yogic movement, however you come to be, because intuition is to really help you align your mind, your body, and your soul. That's really what it is. And we don't always access messages. A lot of times it's relief, it's calm, it's this beautiful space that is sanctuary for you. You feel plugged in and like you belong. And that's that respite that you get, that calming that you get, that breath that you get. That's really what it's all about when somebody says, hey, let's meditate. And then in that quiet space, maybe you can listen to your heart and find out what's more satisfying for you, what gives you joy, what brings you pleasure. Perhaps you then can tap into your soul and then start understanding like what's true for you. what direction you want to go into, what is your path. And I will tell you, when you then step on your soul path, your soul mission, it is one of the scariest things you're ever going to do. It just is. What I say to my clients, because I'm all about soul mission, if you're not shaking in your boots, it's probably not your soul mission. And so there's a beautiful invitation. Don't you just want to start right up and do something like that, right? When you do that, recognize that it's going to be, what are you talking about? Like when that psychic told me back in the early 2000s, you're going to be a liberator, I was like, what is happening right now? What does that look like? Why? How? What is the possibility? What does liberating even mean? Right? That's what it's going to start looking like. And so for you to be curious, that's why Kelly's world is so wonderful. For you to be curious and say, okay, I don't understand what it means. I wonder what it means. Let's open up your mind. Okay. And then when you start wondering, things come in, and that's where you can gather all these things. I know for me, I did, like I said, certificates like this much. And recognize you're going to go one step forward, two steps back, one step sideways, two steps back. There's no wrong answer in this. There's no race in this. There's just your beautiful spiritual involvement, right? It's your journey. When you let yourself accept where you are and allow the next pieces to come in, then you'll have a little bit more grace in that. I wish I had done that. I didn't. I had cockily said, oh, and I can just be blushing right now. You know, when you look at those things, you're like, kind of janky. This is one of mine. I was cocky. I was like, oh, I have had the pursuit of all the things, and I'm going to, have the, what did I say, super highway to enlightenment. And my, people in my world that were further along than me, guides and whatnot, would look at me and just say, it doesn't really work like that. And I was like, watch me. Terrible. So no. So then the spirit was like, well, now it's going to take you 14 times as long. Yes, true statement. For me to get to where you could probably get in 10 months took me 10 years. Shows me, right? So the other thing is, what's really beautiful, the whole intuitive space in the spiritual world, is that it is becoming more common. There's many more places you can go to meet people. There are many more things that you can do. And so when you are looking at what you're going to be doing with your intuitive gifts, the one thing before I pursue that part is your intuitive gifts. Everybody has them, and they are unique to everybody. Just wanted to make that perfectly clear. You're gonna start walking into like, everybody talks about opening a retreat center. For 95% of the people, that's not true. That's okay. It's that first meditation that you go into, that first big dream, that first letting go, and it feels so, and you feel so enraptured. You're just so enchanting that you're like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. Maybe not. Right? But that's okay, because opening yourself up to that calming, opening yourself up to that community, opening yourself up to that healing, opening yourself up to like all those different modalities that you're interested in, let that be your retreat. And then as you're pursuing it, see if it still feels true for you. Because for a lot of people, when we're talking about intuition, it is going to be just part of your beautiful daily life and the way that you live, and that your soul mission may not be for you to then have to come out of the spiritual closet and then lead other people. However, everybody's soul mission has their soul involved. So it is definitely not going to be just a mental, masculine producing pursuit. It is going to be that feminine reciprocity. It's going to be that opening up to receiving. It is going to be that softer side of you. It is going to be that quiet element of you, whether it is a hobby or whether it is a sustainable revenue stream. When you are on the soul mission of spiritual leadership, guidance, healing facilitation, instruction, you are going to be really interested in the next part of the conversation, which part 2 will be next week. And hopefully Kelly can be on it. We're going to be talking about how are you hiding. I have a big old story about that. And we're going to be talking about how you devalue your gifts. I also have a big old story about that. So for today, we wanted to talk and invite you into the more of the curiosity, to be able to lean in, for you to be able to say yes to yourself and be truly accepting and allowing for wherever you are, because this isn't a step by step. I want it to be simple as 1, 2, 3, the fastest process that I go to. You are becoming more of yourself in this journey, and that is beyond delicious because you are magnificent. And I'll tie this in, using the energies of August to be able to help you will be so opportunity creating. And Kelly, I can't wait for you to come back. Can't hear you. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. And until next week, we will have technology fixed. Thank you for listening. And until next time.
Elevate your consciousness with each issue of The Edge magazine delivered straight to your doorstep. Immerse yourself in a community of curious teachers and seekers dedicated to the collective growth and understanding. Each glossy edition is a portal to expand awareness, featuring the latest in metaphysical and holistic products, services, events, and books. Let our engaging articles and comprehensive practitioner directory guide you on your journey towards higher consciousness. With every issue, raise your vibration and deepen your connection to the universe, one enlightening read at a time.